Good morning and welcome to Heart Mooresville, your small town radio show with a big heart. I'm your host, Christine Patterson, bringing you all the Mooresville news and happenings. And please welcome my two wonderful guest co-hosts, Miss Amy Sherrill.
Good morning.
Arts and Event Supervisor, and Mr. Sean Owen.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
They are the little elves that make all the magic happen.
We're still on elves.
Yeah, elves.
I think we're groundhogs. We're coming up to February 2nd, so we're little groundhogs working towards. Yeah, and then we'll be bunny rabbits in the spring, and
I like it. I like it. They're the Easter bunny behind the magic. I love it. But they are the team that puts together all of those great things in the Mooresville area. So we're so glad that you guys are with us and help. And then we have two special guests in the studio today to talk about a very important event that is coming up on Monday, January 19th. Two ladies that give so much of their time to this community in a volunteer capacity. Miss Juliann Miller.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for joining us. And Miss Monica Bender.
Hello.
And this is your first time, Monica, on the
yes.
radio.
Yes, it is.
Well, welcome. We're going to make sure that this is a fun experience for you.
It's fun.
Well, both of these ladies are part of the Martin Luther King Day Planning Committee and have contributed significantly to the success of this event, and we're going to talk all about that. But before we do, we like to keep our listeners informed of what's going on in the area for In the News. Okay, so a couple things that I want to share. So we had a guest, I would say it was probably last year, maybe eight months ago, and I'm not good with time because I feel like a year went by like last week.
Yeah, we've been doing the radio. You've been doing the radio almost 2 years.
I know, and I thought it was a year. I was like, oh, it's our 1 year
I was
anniversary.
like, no, we started in 2023 at the 150th.
A year went by without me knowing. It was
Yeah.
crazy. But Sherrill Klein, he joined us on the radio.
Yeah.
And he is a local country music singer,
Yeah.
and he is so talented, great voice. And he is actually going to do a concert there. He's calling it the Homecoming 2026 concert. It's going to be at the Troutman Event Center, which is at 1105 North Main Street in Troutman. It's presented by Troutman Sheet Metal. It's just a great, hometown concert that's kind of celebrating one of
Yeah.
our own.
Troutman.
Yeah, and apparently, so Sherrill is putting out 2 new records,
Awesome.
like albums, I guess I could say. A record is like one, right? Singular.
Yeah.
So an album is like a whole thing. So he's got 2 albums. It's a double album. One album will be Christian country, while the second will showcase country songs with some comedy tunes. So he's taking a hand at humor too, uplifting storytelling. So you can come hear a little bit about that and hear some of the songs from the album at his Homecoming 2026 concert. Like I said, that's going to be March 7th. That's a Saturday. It's going to be at the Troutman Event Center in Troutman, presented by Troutman Sheet Metal. You can get your tickets. We're going to share that link when we come back so I can actually get that link for you. And yeah, you can just see one of your own perform. And he's very talented. Like we said, we've had him on before. Great guy. So looking forward to that. Also, the Full Bloom Film Festival series that is going to present Rent at the Old Jail. And that's going to be actually tonight, Tuesday, January 13th. It's going to be 6 p.m. It's presented by the Iredell Arts Council through its Full Bloom Film Festival film series.
We just had them on a few months ago.
Yeah, it was
about
a
the
couple
film
months
festival.
ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Rent's one of those musicals that I'm not a musical person. I
Yeah.
don't like when people are just talking and then break out into song and dance. But for some reason, this one is
You
one
like
that I
this
really
one?
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a fan.
Yeah. So I've seen it many of times. And
Okay.
so yeah, I think that'll be a great production.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many minutes they measure out a year?
Oh. 525,600 minutes.
go.
Yeah.
All right.
Way to go, Monica.
Sing it through.
I know. Thank you. I know one song. Well, you can see that that show of Rent put on by the Iredell Arts Council, like we said, at the Old Jail, the 6 p.m., 203 South Meeting Street in Statesville. Now, tickets, I do have this link. It is at events.humanitics. That's HUMANITIX.com /FBFF rent. Okay. So get your tickets. Seating is limited. But what a cool way to see that show, though.
It is cool.
Iredell Arts Council puts on some great events. They are, it's very diverse too. I feel like they have a good lineup of, just different things that they're doing. And I love the Full Bloom Film Festival too, because they definitely bring in artists from, all over the world.
It was
international
very
filmmakers.
interesting when they were on the show.
Yeah. Love
They work
the
on that all
organization.
year round.
Also, would love to share that Mooresville High School has been the recipient of the TDS STEM Ed grant.
Ooh.
Yes. So $10,000 is going to Mooresville High School to invest in the future of its community. So TDS does this grant every year. The grant will help Mooresville High School launch its new Spark Lab, which is a learning space designed to prepare students for careers in tech. Spark Labs are collaborative learning spaces that are designed to spark curiosity and prepare students for careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So basically, the lab will have things like a high-performance workstation for AI, game design, cybersecurity projects. There'll be collaborative display to enable sharing or shared coding, media design, learning experiences. They'll have, of course, be making upgrades to their bandwidth connectivity. There'll be audio-visual equipment that will support hybrid learning and with other Spark Labs across the state. There'll be robotics and maker tech kits for hands-on engineering and automation projects, and then tech accessories like charging stations, mounts, and peripherals to keep the lab safe. I think I've said this probably multiple times before, but why didn't we have this stuff when I was in school?
Yeah.
They have
not even close.
There wasn't
No.
electricity
I was
then.
going to say.
Boom, boom.
It wasn't invented yet.
No, but
That's funny.
kids today get to talk to astronauts on the space station.
Yes.
They did.
They are, they get Spark Labs to create video games and robots.
Yeah, we were fighting over 4 computers when I was in high school. Now everyone has their own
I
computer.
know.
You know?
That's right.
So
It was a big deal when we got a whole lab full of Macintosh computers.
Yeah. Do we have the Gateway computers? With the
did too.
cow?
Right, or the Gateway,
Yeah.
and they were
Yeah.
giant.
Yes.
And only 1 or 2 worked at a
You
time.
did your
Yeah.
research papers in the library and you fought for the computers. Yeah.
When I taught high school, my kids couldn't believe that I actually remembered when Google came online.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big. That's a big deal. Did they have electricity then too?
We had electricity,
Yeah.
yeah, but they still don't believe me.
Yeah. It is crazy to think that we are now the generation that has seen all of that come to fruition. Where we lived at a time where there was not computers. It's
I'm
crazy.
old enough that we didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
It really is crazy
right.
to think
I am too.
things have evolved so quickly. Definitely
Didn't have cell phones.
Definitely makes you feel a little old.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to talk to our guests from the Martin Luther King Planning Committee, and we'll be right back here on Heart Mooresville.
You're listening to Heart Mooresville, celebrating the events, arts, and people that make our town shine. Back after this, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, winter has surely returned, but we do get a little bit of a break as we go into the next couple of days after a cold start. We should easily make it into the upper 50s for our Tuesday afternoon. Cold again overnight near freezing, but back up near 60 by Wednesday. Then we cool it down again, likely staying in the 30s for Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Looking for something to do close to home?
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Music lovers won't want to miss Songwriter Girl, the music of Carole King, on January 17th at 7 p.m. at the Charles Mack Citizen Center. Acclaimed singer-songwriter Kirsty Manna brings the timeless songs of Carole King to life in a performance inspired by the iconic Tapestry era. It's a must-see night of classic hits and unforgettable melodies. Songwriter Girl, the music of Carole King, on January 17th at 7 p.m. at the Charles Mack Citizen Center.
Calling all superheroes on January 15th. It's Marvel Trivia Night at Royal Bliss Brewing in Denver, starting at 7 p.m. Bring your team and test your knowledge of iconic heroes, villains, and unforgettable MCU moments. It's free to play, prizes are up for grabs, and the fun is guaranteed. Assemble on January 15th at Marvel Trivia Night at Royal Bliss Brewing in Denver.
And finally, on January 19th, honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with a meaningful, cross-generational experience at the David B. Waymer Recreation Center in Huntersville. From 3 to 5 p.m., explore a mobile museum featuring African-American artifacts and civil rights memorabilia from the Thankful Heritage Museum. A time to learn, reflect, and connect through history. Honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., January 19th, 3 to 5 p.m. at the David B. Waymer Recreation Center in Huntersville.
For even more local events,
Community happenings,
and Lake Norman news,
visit liveworkplaylkn.com.
it's your go-to source for what's happening
Where to be,
and what's next around the lake.
live,
Work,
play,
LKN.
.com.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
You're listening to Heart Mooresville, connecting the people, the places, and the events that make our town special. Only on WSIC. Local starts here.
And welcome back to Heart Mooresville here on WSIC News. We have two special guests in the studio, Miss Juliann Miller, community volunteer, and Miss Monica Bender, also a community volunteer. School board, Mooresville Greater School Board. You got MLK Day Planning Committee. We love it. Thank you for your community service, both of you ladies. Well, today we're talking about a special event that's coming up on January 19th, Monday, which is Martin Luther King Day. And I think it's a special event for our community, and we're going to talk about all the reasons why. But before we kind of delve into the event, I would love to kind of hear just a little bit of background from both of you ladies and how you got involved in the planning committee.
So this event is something that actually the Mooresville Graded School District started many years ago. There were a lot of different events going on in the community, and they decided to try to bring it together into one event. And so one of our committee members, Tanae McLean, was actually part of that from the very beginning. And as it got bigger and the town kind of partnered with the school district, it got so big, it sort of moved into the Charles Mack, and then the town sort of transitioned into taking over the planning and execution of the event. And so I joined a committee for the town. It was one of their citizen advisory committees. And so about 5 years ago. And so this will be my fourth Martin Luther King Jr. Peace Walk and Breakfast. And we also have another committee member, Ingrid Alexander, who also was on the committee with me. And she actually helped with it even before I did. So this will be like her 5th or 6th year.
So this has been going on for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
And obviously, it means a lot to folks because we keep coming back to plan it. It always, we always have all the tickets reserved. It's always a really excellent event. So, I'm honored to be able to be a part of the planning for it. And I love what it means for the community.
Right.
And what about you, Monica?
I'm not quite sure how I got on the committee. Someone asked me, and I said, of course I will do this. It's a wonderful event and a wonderful cause, and it's definitely something I am proud to be involved in. So it's always a wonderful, thoughtful, thought-provoking event, and it's going to be great.
Yes, we're excited.
Well, I want to talk about a little bit about kind of the elements of the event, and I want to start with the Peace Walk. So, one of the, I think the things that Martin Luther King, represented was peaceful protest. And the first part of this event is the Peace Walk. So tell us about the Peace Walk and what people can expect.
Well, it's not as long as you would think, so you can do it. It's
Yes,
not like
you
a
can do it.
5K.
It's for everyone.
It's a walk.
It's very, it's a quick walk, but it's, like I said, it's very thought provoking. We usually have music or singing going on. There's a prayer beforehand, so it kind of gets us into the mindset. And then we walk around the Charles Mack, and it's just wonderful to see people walking in the same thought of peace and Martin Luther King and celebrating what he stood for. So it's usually cold, so bundle up and come join us. And it's like I said, you can do it. It's not a 5K, and then you get a wonderful breakfast after.
Yeah, and if you don't have tickets for the breakfast, which unfortunately those are all reserved at this point, you can still join us for the Peace Walk. It is open to the whole community, and we really encourage folks to come out and join us for that. That'll be at 9 o'clock, and we meet out front of the Charles Mack Citizen Center there on Main Street, and we walk together around the block. So it's not a long walk, like Monica said, and we do try to take into account that we have folks who have mobility concerns, that we not go too quickly, because the point is for the community to come together and support one another.
Absolutely. So 9 a.m., gather in front of the Charles Mack Citizen Center, take part in the Peace Walk, and then after, everyone will go into the Charles Mack Citizen Center for the community breakfast and program. And what can people expect from that?
So we start the program around 9:30. That gives us time to get everybody in and get seated. And we open it up with some remarks from some of our local leaders. Pastor Sherrill McIver is going to be giving the prayer before the Peace Walk, and then Reverend Curtis Johnson will be giving a prayer to bless the breakfast before we dismiss everybody out to get food. Then we're going to have delicious food from Toast in downtown Mooresville. We're really excited about that French toast casserole.
Yes. Yes, that was a special request.
It was. I requested it. That was me. It's delicious. And so we give people time to sort of commune with one another at their tables while they're eating before we actually start the program. And then when the program begins, we have a Master of Ceremonies. This year, we're excited. We have Omar Tyree.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah.
How exciting!
yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
I mean, American novelist, like.
Yeah, if I'm not sure, who would be familiar. He's written quite a lot of books. One that was very popular, actually released in 1993. So. Almost as old as me, but so it's been 30 years, but it's called Fly Girl, and so that's been one of his most popular. Another one of his really popular is For the Love of Money and Mayor for Life, the incredible story of Marion Barry Jr. That came out in 2000, and he actually wrote that with Marion Barry. He has written several novels since then. He's also released a hip hop album in the past, he's recently done a movie. So he's really around the whole realm of creative work.
Yeah, I think Lionsgate purchased the rights to one of his books.
They did.
Yes.
Yeah. To Fly Girl, I believe.
That's awesome to have him in Mooresville. Yeah.
He's very accomplished. I mean, he's received a lot of awards. In 2001, he won the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Literature. And in 2006, he won the Phyllis Wheatley Literary Award for Body of Work in Fiction. And that's really cool. I don't know if anybody knows some of their literary history, but Phyllis Wheatley was a Black woman who was a slave who learned how to read and write. And then she actually wrote a lot of pieces, some essays, but also some poetry, and is one of the sort of seen as one of the first Black women to actually have her work published and read broadly. So that's a really special award.
Absolutely. And then, so fabulous Master of Ceremonies, Omar Tyree, keynote speaker, Pastor Dre, as he's known locally.
Yeah.
I think, what you described is it sounds like a really well-rounded mix. What will there be performances?
Yeah, so we've got several special performances. Last year, Pastor Tinsley Williams, who is Pastor Dre's wife, by the way, she sang some lovely songs for us. She's also going to be doing that for us again this year, so we're excited to have both of them with us this year. And then we have a couple folks joining us from Mooresville Graded.
The high school choir will sing 2 songs. And then we also have some students. We put out a request asking if anyone would like to give a little speech. The topic was
What does Martin Luther King
what does Martin
mean
Luther
to
King
them,
mean to me? Building community.
Yeah, what does community mean
What does
to
community
me?
mean
related
to me?
Martin Luther King?
And we do have 2 young students that will be coming. We had 3 last year. They were fantastic.
They were amazing.
Yes, that was my favorite
Probably
part of the
tears.
Mine
program.
as well.
Yeah.
Mine as well. So we've got 2 coming this year, and then we also have the Joy Fest choir will be coming and singing. So there will
Yes.
be
right.
all ages involved.
Yes, lots of music.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
And Joy Fest is exciting too. For those who don't know, that is a local event that Ingrid Alexander, one of our committee members, has put together and hosted for a couple of years now. And I've been able to help her out with that. And so the choir is a newer idea, but it's going to be great. So, I mean, these are big choirs, 30 some folks for each one of them. So
Yeah.
we're really excited. It's really going to be a lot of really excellent music this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, and then what about, what kind of role do nonprofits play in this event?
Okay, so this year we're doing something a little different. In past years, we've had some vendors from the local community before the breakfast. This year, we've actually, because the focus is on building community, we have invited some local nonprofits and other agencies to bring some information, set up some tables, and just let people know what's happening in the community. More than ever, it's really important that we work at building community. And one way we do that is by supporting one another. These nonprofits, these agencies are doing so much work in our community and doing great work, and they need our support, whether it's financial support or it's volunteer time. And what we want people to know is how they can get involved, but we also want them to know what resources are out there, because a lot of folks, I think, just don't actually know the full realm of that. And I do volunteer regularly with the United Way. And for people who aren't familiar, the United Way of North Carolina has NC 211. It's an information hotline. You can call it wherever you are, and they can give you resources local to your area. So if you're in Mooresville, then you call and say, I'm in Mooresville, I need help finding a food pantry. And they say, okay. We can help you with that, and then they give you that. So if you were in Lumberton, if you're in Elizabeth City, wherever you are, they can connect you with those
That's
resources.
amazing. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Well,
Okay.
and it's important to know the resources that are available. So if you know of someone or you hear of someone that needs help, you can guide them in the right direction.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about the Martin Luther King Day celebration coming up January 19th. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Heart Mooresville, celebrating the events, arts, and people that make our town shine. Back after this, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, winter has surely returned, but we do get a little bit of a break as we go into the next couple of days after a cold start. We should easily make it into the upper 50s for our Tuesday afternoon. Cold again overnight near freezing, but back up near 60 by Wednesday. Then we cool it down again, likely staying in the 30s for Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Give the gift of wow. Shop at Harrison's. They'll be all smiles in new Carhartt. Ariat has layers they'll love, and there's nothing merrier than a pair of Tacovas. Find gifts for everyone at the home of Work Western and wow in Mooresville or at harrisonsusa.com.
Spotless cleaning. How can we make your day spotless? Yes, we make not just toilets spotless, but also counters, cabinets, and kitchens. we make your whole house, your whole day spotless. My grandparents taught me the details, not the things, make your home and your life luxurious. Yes, they raised me in Brazil. And that's why we will never charge you extra for base forms. Let me help you be a diva a few hours a week. Spotless Cleaning and C.com.
Looking to sell or buy in Huntersville or Lake Norman?
Hi, I'm Jeff Snyde, owner and managing broker of Blue Oak Realty Group. Here's the truth. Your needs don't pause for the market. Whether you need more space, less space, or just the right fit, I'll help you create a smart strategy that makes sense for your family and your goals. With over a decade of experience right here in Lake Norman, I know this community, and I treat every client's goals like my own.
Call Jeff today or visit blueoakrealtygroup.com. Outstanding service, smart moves. That's Blue Oak Realty Group.
Got a Toyota? Get it serviced at Quality Car Care of Statesville. Looking for a great pre-owned vehicle? Quality Car Care has you covered at 2040 Old Mountain Road. Visit qualitycarcarestatesville.com.
Rev up your dreams with a bike from Tilly Harley-Davidson. Whether you're new to Harley or a seasoned pro, Tilly has the bike for you. Come experience the freedom of the ride. Feel the thrill of the road and the thunder that only a Harley can provide. Stop by Tilly Harley-Davidson of Statesville or go to tillyhd.com.
Do you have mountains of mess and cabinets of chaos? Summon the Royal Cleanup Crew at Crown Waste and Recycling, Lake Norman's crown jewel of cleaner and greener, offering commercial and residential services. Affordable, reliable, with state-of-the-art equipment 365 days a year. Call 704-222-2639 today.
Take your life by the reins and let the horses at Willow Equine heal and empower you. Located in Mooresville, our services help with trauma, anxiety, depression, and addiction. Love life again. Visit willowequine.com today.
The button pushing stops here.
WSIC. Local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Delta Airlines says demand from high-spending flyers continues to remain strong. The carrier reported quarterly earnings that beat Wall Street expectations, plus the airline sees profit increasing by 20% this year. Delta's been focusing on its premium offerings both in the cabin and on the ground. Meta Platforms and glasses maker EssilorLuxottica are discussing the possibility of doubling production capacity for AI-powered smart glasses by the end of the year to capture growing demand and head off rivals. EssilorLuxottica is already near its current capacity target of 10 million pairs by the end of 2026, and a step up in output would signal confidence that smart glasses can move beyond early adopters and reach mass market scale. Meanwhile, the Instagram and Facebook owner will be cutting 10% of its staff. That's 1,500 jobs in its Reality Labs division. That's the Meta unit that houses VR headsets, AI glasses, and the company's metaverse products, which have lost billions of dollars every quarter for years. Erica Herskowitz, Bloomberg Radio.
Don't miss a thing. Download the WSIC News app today. WSIC. Local starts here.
You're listening to Heart Mooresville, connecting the people, the places, and the events that make our town special. Only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back to Heart Mooresville, your small town radio show with a big heart. I am here with Miss Juliann and Monica, both members of the Martin Luther King Day Planning Committee meeting. We have a great event coming up Monday, January 19th at the Charles Mack Citizen Center. 9 a.m. the Peace Walk begins, and then 9:30 a community breakfast and program that you can participate in. We were just talking about kind of the role that some of our local organizations are playing in this event and how you've done something a little bit different this year and are bringing kind of those local resources to the community.
Yeah, so the resource partners that we're going to have there or with information there is Hope of Mooresville, the Christian Mission, Town of Mooresville, United Way, Feed NC, and Joy Fest. And those are all local organizations that help people in different situations and good information to have and to share. And so we're excited to have that.
Yeah. And one of the things, I heard you ladies, kind of talking about is how it's important, number one, for awareness, because people might not know that these nonprofits even exist, but also, there might be people that attend the event that maybe need some of the services that are provided by some of these nonprofits, or maybe just want to get involved and volunteer. And that's something that you can really do anytime throughout the year.
Yes, And I know they are all always wanting volunteers. So
Yes,
all the time, anytime you have. Yes,
absolutely. And then, speaking of volunteers, not just for our local nonprofits, but this event, I mean, obviously both of you ladies volunteer your time as part of the planning committee meeting, but there are many volunteers that help make this event happen. And kind of give those shout outs. Who is that?
So I want to give an extra special shout out to Miss Jeanette Adams. Jeanette is a wonderful human being, and she comes every year and helps us serve the breakfast. She is just a ray of sunshine, and she's so committed to being there and being part of this event, and we are so happy to have her with us again this year. And then also, our volunteers on the planning committee typically end up helping as well. And we also have some local youth that are going to be helping us out.
The Crosby Scholars, which is a program in Iredell County to help get students ready for college, they will be sending volunteers. So they are going to help with serving the breakfast. If people need assistance getting their breakfast, they'll take your order and bring it to you. They will guide us to where the Peace Walk is, and it's just great to have youth coming to this event and helping.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think something the committee has done a really good job on is, involving such a diverse spectrum of groups. So you will see youth, you'll see the NAACP, you'll see, people from the healthcare system. It's just so many different people that are all in one place, and I think that's kind of, goes to the theme of the event too, building community. Can you speak to that theme a little bit and why that's important?
Sure. So we went with this theme similar to what the King Center has put together. So last year it was Mission Possible 1. And this year it's Mission Possible 2. And
Tom Cruise going to be there?
No, sorry, no Tom Cruise. But we do have Omar Tyree.
We do.
He is also famous.
Yes.
So the King Center was founded by Martin Luther King Jr.'s children, and they are still very involved in its activities today. And every year they come up with a theme for the year. And so we decided building community really spoke to us because what this event does is it brings our community together. You have a lot of folks who come to this particular event who maybe wouldn't otherwise spend time with each other outside of this event, just because their various interests don't necessarily align. But one thing about Martin Luther King Jr. is he had his memory, and even when he was alive, he had the ability to bring people from disparate identities and backgrounds together. And that's something that we try to encourage, with this event. And with bringing in the resource partners, we really want to stress that not just showing up for the event, but showing up in your community. So Monica and I, we volunteer on a lot of different committees in our community, but a lot of folks don't know how to do that. So we want to give people that opportunity to learn, because volunteering for me is a year-round thing. I'm not just working on this committee. I'm also on multiple committees for the United Way. And I think me personally, I got that from my grandparents. So I'm actually from Faith, which is nearby in Rowan County. So
good 4th of
shout
July
out to
parade.
Rowan County. Yes. That 4th of July parade, I have been in it many times. I've set up for it.
Yes, it's a big deal.
I've cleaned up trash after it. I've done all of those things in my time. But so my grandfather, Marcus Sifford, he was actually mayor of Faith in the 70s. And he stayed committed to working in the community. That was something that was really impressed upon me from a very young age, was the importance of being involved in your community. And so that's how I'm here, I think, is really just like learning early how important it is to be involved and to support the place that supports you.
Yes.
I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and thank you for what you do. I think we need more people like
Yes.
you.
Yes,
in
please
the
come
community.
volunteer, help us
Yes.
out. You know,
Yes.
like I said, these resource partners are doing amazing work. And there's really something for everyone. I am not a good cook. I will willingly admit that. So Feed and See does not want me there in the kitchen. But I am good at sorting things. So I find in like the grassroots grocery.
You have other skills.
Or in the warehouse. Yes, I have other skills,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
cooking is not one of them.
So, and Monica, what inspired you to serve on this committee?
I think one of the things I love most about Mooresville, it is a beautifully diverse area.
Yeah.
And I think that this event particularly celebrates that. And I want to make sure that everybody in the town feels represented and respected. And so when the opportunity arose for me to get to be part of this, I was like, absolutely, I am involved. I'm there. Giving back to the community has always been my thing. I've enjoyed it from when my kids were in school and then other committees along the way. And my husband says I don't know how to say no. I'm working on that. But, there are just some things that you can't say no to. And this obviously is one of them. And given that I love Mooresville as much as I do, I moved here, I think 12 years ago. Unwillingly, but I have since very much fallen in love with the community. And so I just want to give back.
Right.
Yeah.
So I may say no to some things, but never to the town or anything that will celebrate everyone in the town.
Yeah, I think that the committee has done a good job of accomplishing, a well-rounded program that clearly, inspires people to come out. We'll talk about that in a minute. But before we kind of get into that, why do you think this event is special or unique in kind of helping, start these conversations, bringing people together? What do you think about it makes it so special?
Well, I think one thing is this is one event that the town does that really celebrates the history of Mooresville from the Black perspective. We have a large Black population, and this is one event where we really try to bring in our Black community and have them really involved. So, obviously we have Pastor Sheldon McIver and his wife, Pastor Shelley McIver, who have been with us for several years. Reverend Curtis Johnson, who is head of the NAACP locally, and he's been giving us his input on the committee for several years. And again, we have Pastor Tinsley Williams, who's coming back to sing for us, and her husband, Pastor Dre, who's going to be our keynote speaker. And we've had other local clergy as well in the past. We really try to bring the community in and make them a part of this event. So it's about the community, it's for the community, and it represents that community.
Yeah.
Give them a voice.
Absolutely.
And celebrate it, that voice.
You all are doing a great job. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and continue our conversation about the Martin Luther King Day celebration coming up on January 19th. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Heart Mooresville, celebrating the events, arts, and people that make our town shine. Back after this, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, winter has surely returned, but we do get a little bit of a break as we go into the next couple of days. After a cold start, we should easily make it into the upper 50s for our Tuesday afternoon. Cold again overnight near freezing, but back up near 60 by Wednesday. Then we cool it down again, likely staying in the 30s for Thursday. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Looking for something to do close to home?
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Music lovers won't want to miss Songwriter Girl, the music of Carole King, on January 17th at 7 p.m. at the Charles Mack Citizen Center. Acclaimed singer-songwriter Kirsty Manna brings the timeless songs of Carole King to life in a performance inspired by the iconic Tapestry era. It's a must-see night of classic hits and unforgettable melodies. Songwriter Girl, the music of Carole King, on January 17th at 7 p.m. at the Charles Mack Citizen Center.
Calling all superheroes on January 15th. It's Marvel Trivia Night at Royal Bliss Brewing in Denver, starting at 7 p.m. Bring your team and test your knowledge of iconic heroes, villains, and unforgettable MCU moments. It's free to play, prizes are up for grabs, and the fun is guaranteed. Assemble on January 15th at Marvel Trivia Night at Royal Bliss Brewing in Denver.
And finally, on January 19th, honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with a meaningful, cross-generational experience at the David B. Waymer Recreation Center in Huntersville. From 3 to 5 p.m., explore a mobile museum featuring African American artifacts and civil rights memorabilia from the Thankful Heritage Museum. A time to learn, reflect, and connect through history. Honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., January 19th, 3 to 5 p.m. at the David B. Waymer Recreation Center in Huntersville.
For even more local events,
Community happenings,
and Lake Norman news,
visit liveworkplaylkn.com.
it's your go-to source for what's happening
Where to be,
and what's next around the lake.
live,
Work,
play,
LKN.com.
LKN Love Delivered. Show off your love for Lake Norman with unique lake apparel, home decor, and other gifts from LKN Local. Made by locals, for locals. They even hand deliver their quality products to select zip codes. Shop LKN-local.com today.
You're listening to Heart Mooresville, connecting the people, the places, and the events that make our town special. Only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back to Heart Mooresville here on WSIC News. We're talking to two wonderful ladies, Miss Juliann Miller Monica Bender of the Martin Luther King Day Planning Committee meeting. Now, or event, not a meeting, an event, a celebration. One of the things that I want to point out that amazes me every year that happens with this event is tickets sell out in like 24 hours.
Immediately.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think obviously that's a testament to what you all do. I mean, you plan a great event, people are going to come. And this has been happening for years. These tickets have gone very, very quickly. And I think it's clear that the community, wants to attend this event. There is demand there. If you build it, they will come, right? And so what does that, tell you? What does that say?
It's wanted by the community and it's needed by the community. And I think it's wonderful. I mean, maybe they have like alerts set on their phone and they just, the minute at 12:01, they're online getting those tickets. I don't know, but it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, again, our Black residents really enjoy this event in particular because it really celebrates someone that is extremely important in Black history and us tying it into to local history and bringing in the local representatives. I think that, again, it's that sense of community, and people really love to have that opportunity to join together and celebrate together and have time to just enjoy each other's company. And again, this will be my fourth one, and we have been asked, when are we going to make it bigger? When are we going to make it bigger every year? Because the tickets always go quick. And that's something we're going to talk about, I think. I think there are plans to see how we can do that in the future because it is such a big event in terms of how much people really enjoy being there.
And we want everyone to get to be a part of it. Yeah, it definitely, it's not to have to turn people away. I mean, you want everyone to be a part of that. So I love that you guys are thinking about that and how you can kind of include more people. So if people did not get tickets to, the breakfast, there is still a way for them to participate in the peace walk, right?
Yeah, just come to the entrance, the courtyard on Main Street where that beautiful fountain is, and come at 9 o'clock and walk with us and share that fellowship moment with us.
Yeah.
And if this is something that interests you, we always love having new ideas and more representation on this committee. So reach out if you're interested. You can go to mooresvilleevents.com to learn more about this event in particular and other events going on in the town of Mooresville. And you can certainly reach out to the town if you are interested in joining us to plan for next year.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it on Monday, January 19th. Again, that's at the Charles Mack Citizen Center. The Peace Walk starts at 9 a.m. and the community breakfast and program starts at 9:30. Tickets are sold out. There is a waiting list, but you can inquire more about the event or, mark your calendars for next year, and you can go to mooresvilleevents.com. Okay. Now, other events are coming up in the area. So, as always, there's so much going on in Mooresville. I mean, you can't even
I thought when we flipped the calendar to January 1st, we're like, we got a little bit of a
little bit of a
break.
break.
Yeah, just a nice, great event for Martin Luther King Day. And then we'll kind of slow into 2026. And no, not at all.
It didn't work like that. And one of the reasons for that is, we have an event coming up this Friday. Obviously, huge tragedy for our community that happened before Christmas. The Biffle family was tragically killed in an airplane crash. And I think even those of us that, you may not be a race fan, you may not be, have followed their career or their life and philanthropic work, but that resonates with everyone, I think.
Yeah, I think, what you really didn't know about Greg, if you were just following him on the racing side, is his contributions to the community, and especially over the past year with the relief efforts in the Western Carolinas after Hurricane Helene. And, it's amazing how, his passion for helping people, but also his knowledge on how to fly helicopters and planes and, be able to get to places that others couldn't. So it's been amazing to see some of the coverage of his time working with the American Red Cross and Flights for Hope and, others, just to be able to provide that support that was needed.
And so tell us how this even came about. Why are we doing this event on Friday?
Yeah, so Friday is going to be the Burnout for Biff event. This is a kind of a conclusion to all the celebrations of life, not only just of the Biffle family, but, everybody who was on board of that flight. But Cletus McFarland, who is one of Greg's best friends. There's many videos out there on YouTube that, show their just fun that they had together. It just, if it was loud, if it had a motor, and if it had wheels, it was for them. So Cletus McFarland, wanted to kind of celebrate the last burnout in front of Greg Biffle's star, who was just inducted into the North Carolina Auto Racing Hall of Fame in October. And so we are doing one official burnout,
just one,
that Cletus McFarland is going to be doing. He's shipping up his. I can't tell you what it's going to be.
Can't tell you what
no, I can't ruin the surprise.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a great burnout. It's going to take place right there on Main Street in front of the Charles Mack Citizen Center, right where Biffle's star is. And then, we're also going to be utilizing the event space inside the Charles Mack Center for kind of what we call as a victory lap celebration of Greg's legacy. Some of his memorabilia, we've been able to reach out to folks in Washington and Kentucky that are coming here, bringing very unique memorabilia that they've collected over the years. And then we also have the partnerships with the American Red Cross, who will showcasing their humanitarian work, but also doing a blood drive, which you can sign up for, which would be definitely encouraged to make an appointment on AmericanRedCross.org. And from there, we also have the North Carolina Auto Racing Hall of Fame, and they will be selling limited edition T-shirts that will commemorate Greg's star and the fact that, this is his memorial, and those proceeds will benefit the Biffle Foundation. And also another huge part was the Lake Norman Humane Society, and so they'll be out there as well. And it's been so cute. We've been looking through all the pictures and seeing Greg on a golf cart at a track with his dogs, and him and his wife at their fireplace with dogs, and just animals were a huge part of his life. So they'll be out there. They're actually going to be bringing some dogs that are available for adoption, so it'll be a really cool event, and a lot of great pictures, some that might not have seen before, kind of some of the behind the scenes that personal collections, and so it's going to be a great event, and it will be from 3 to 5. The blood drive will start at 1 and go till 5. And it'll be a great celebration, and I would just say come early and get ready to hear this vehicle just tear down a nice
Bring your
strip.
earplugs.
Yeah, bring your earplugs, but
This
we're
vehicle.
gonna burn it down on Main Street. So we're excited. Cletus is amazing, and everybody's been so supportive of this.
Aw.
And
And
that's this Friday?
Yes,
This Friday, 3 to 5.
And it's we had it at that time because of his memorial service
Yeah.
in Bojangles earlier that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that's one of the the thing that I keep hearing too is about this is people. This is the way Greg would have wanted
Yes.
to be
Mhm.
remembered.
100%.
Is a burnout on Main Street.
Yeah.
He and Cletus had a very playful relationship, back and forth,
Very much.
pranking each other, hemming each other's fire suits 4 inches up,
Yep,
so that
that's right. That's
I mean,
right.
just really cool, fun way. And I think this kind of requested by friend of the family, family members that
Mhm.
they want to see this, and they want to see this, this Greg be honored in this way. And so we're happy to obviously participate in that. And I think the Mooresville community too are all inspired by his, contribution to the community and his, philanthropy work. And I think the hashtag Be Like Biff.
Yeah.
And, it's what we're saying. And everyone's taking a
Mhm.
part in that. And, I see that even with our downtown businesses, when they're, doing some sort of service contribution, I love to see that. And I think that's what he would have wanted to inspire that, work to continue. And so the nonprofit vendors being a part of that, I think are a great thing. So I hope, people do come out. It will be live streamed. So WSIC News, as our official live stream partner, will be live streaming the event. So, we know that the 3 to 5 is not an ideal time for everyone. As you mentioned, Amy, they requested that time because it is right after the Bojangles Coliseum Memorial, which is at 11 a.m. That is the official memorial that's happening in Charlotte. And, I'm sure there'll be a couple hours for people to kind of get to Mooresville. But certainly the burnout won't happen until Cletus gets there. So you're not going to miss it. So,
No.
he can get down here. You can get down here too. But we will also be live streaming the actual Bojangles Coliseum Memorial
Okay.
in the
In the
Joby Knox Auditorium.
Wonderful. I think that was just confirmed this morning that
Yeah.
we're going to extend that. So, yeah, it's not, the service in Charlotte and the burnout for Biff is not one of those like you have to pick one or the other. You are able to still attend if you want to go in person in Charlotte. And then if you want to just not be able to have to go down there, but stay in Mooresville, you can come by the JVK Auditorium. And from there, you'll be able to be a part of the burnout either way. So we're going to have a great time. This is exactly what Greg would have wanted.
Yes.
And it's going to be done in a great celebration.
Yeah, love it. So again, more information, mooresvilleevents.com. We'll put a parking map up there. As we get more details about the event, we will update the website. Of course, you can go to mooresvilleevents.com for all of our event information coming up. Check out that community calendar. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all to our wonderful guests. I hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you next week on I Heart Mooresville.